Yeah. What it do? What it do? Welcome to Over the Top Rope Wrestling Show. It's your boy, the one, the only, Mr. Steal Your Dibs. You heard me? And on the other side, setting up my friend, my brother from another, Tantilizing Tony Levin. What's going on, my brother?
Yo, what's up?
Man, I know you hear the song playing in the background. I know you hear it.
I can't say that I do.
Oh, God. Well, hopefully everybody that's watching the show, they can hear the song because you know it's about the Hurt Business and the
Oh,
CHO, the new WWE Champion, Bobby Lashley.
the almighty Bobby Lashley.
That is correct. The almighty Bobby Lashley. And we're going to start off the show talking about our new WWE champion, the 53rd WWE champion in history, the third black man to hold the WWE championship title.
The only,
Bruh,
only, only the third black man. We should put it that way. Only
that's
the third.
only the third. That's right. That's right. They have other people say, well, Booker T and Mark Henry held the World Heavyweight Championships. Yeah, but that is not the company belt. The WWE slash back in the day WWF Heavyweight slash Championship. That is the company belt. Rock was first. Second was Kofi. Bobby Lashley is number three. And bruh, I spoke about this last week, and I didn't think it would happen on Monday Night Raw. I did not think it was going to happen. But if you watch Monday Night Raw and the way they played that storyline out across the whole 3 hours, me for one, I liked it. I liked that they played it out for those 3 hours. There are other people that said, man, they drew it out too long. They didn't have to be all that. Hey, for the Miz to be a weasel and to try to get out that match the way that he did by playing sick and then the count out and then Shane getting involved, hey, to me, that was genius booking, genius story writing. But regardless of that, when they made it a lumberjack match, I knew then. I said, oh, Bobby becoming champion. It's going to happen. And it happened. I was so happy. I'm so happy for Bobby because he's truly deserved this moment and that championship for a very, very, very long time. I got more
17
to
years.
17 years. I got more to say about it, but I'm gonna let you get your turn in about this. Go ahead, my brother.
First thing I want to say is I want to give you credit because you called this. I didn't think they were going to pull the trigger so quick. And they pulled the trigger on a Raw, which was shocking. But it did go into something I was talking about, which was ratings.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
Yeah.
WWE figured we got to make a change. We got to push somebody else. As you see, Miz was a transitional champion. The Miz doesn't need the title. I know a lot of
Nope.
people upset, like, oh my God, it was too quick. Listen, everybody, all the Miz fans out there, and I'm a Miz fan as well. First of all, Miz respects the company, loves the company, and he is the kind of person that knows what's best for business. At this point in time, the title doesn't make the man makes the title. Miz has been a proud carrier of that title. He's got his shows. He's got everything going on. So don't be sad for Miz, everybody. He did the right thing. He put Bobby Lashley over. And he did it in glaring fashion. Might I say awesome fashion by getting squashed. This is the best squash I've seen in a WWE title match since Brock Lesnar beat The Rock. And that's what you do as a professional, especially when someone like Bobby Lashley, who has been with the company on and off for so many years, and all his accolades and his legitimacy. That's what you do. So now, the almighty Bobby Lashley, under the tutelage of your friend, MVP, has set the wrestling world on fire. I don't think there's anybody more deserving right now for that title, other than arguably Cesaro, which I believe we'll talk about sometime later. But right now, it's all about Bobby Lashley, and we might get to see the match we've all wanted to see, and you called it. You called it. This is a way to bring Brock Lesnar out of his semi-retirement, whatever he's doing right now. So we might see Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania with the roles reversed, with Lesnar chasing Lashley. What else can you say?
All I gotta say is Brock has something that Lashley has. So it makes a lot of sense now for this match to happen. Makes a lot of sense. Let me go back to 2007. 2007, man, I was very excited about a matchup at the Great American Bash between Bobby Lashley and John Cena for the WWE Championship then. And I wanted Bobby to win that belt on that night. And I didn't think Bobby would have a long run if he won, but just the fact of Bobby winning on that night would have made my day, my night, my week, whatever. It didn't happen. John Cena got the victory. We saw Bobby Lashley the next night on Raw. He gets injured and he leaves WWE. He goes on to do other things, TNA for one of them. Bobby comes back to Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania 34 here in New Orleans. I marked out so hard when he came out. And it was funny because I saw him on Bourbon Street 2 days before. So I marked out. And I said, then they got to put this belt on Bobby Lashley eventually. They have to. There's no excuse not to. But look at the storylines he was in. A feud with Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn making fun of his sisters. Oh, we're going to throw Leo Rush with him. We're going to throw Leo Rush, make Leo Rush a mouthpiece for Bobby Lashley. Oh, we're going to put Bobby Lashley with Lana, and we're going to have them get married and da-da-da. They had this man booked as a mid-card for these years. Three years. 3 years now that he's been back with the company. He's been just a mid-card wrestler. But now this is where I give my props to MVP. MVP comes back, scouting talent. Hey, I'm going to make a group called the Hurt Business. And Bobby Lashley's going to be my main guy. And all of a sudden, what should have been like Bobby Lashley back in 2005, 6, and 7 is now happening in 2021 where he's unstoppable. No one could beat him. No one can touch him. He's just this big, bad machine that's just running over people. Kind of reminds you of a Brock Lesnar, does it? Unstoppable. It does. So, this was long overdue. And when this happened, man, I just sat there in awe. I sat there in awe, so excited, so happy. The guy deserves it. And the thing is also, Tony, everything that's happened with Bobby and whatever storyline or whatever they have for him, he never complained. We know he left years ago. We know that. But he never complained.
Never badmouthed him.
Yeah, never. And to hear him talk about it on another radio show and Vince comes up to him and says, I'm happy for you. I'm proud of you. That says a lot right there.
Listen, Bobby Lashley is legitimate badass from MMA, Strikeforce. He has done everything. He's been in every organization that he's gone to. He's been champion.
Yes.
The guy is 43 years old. And people say, oh my God, this shit happened 10 years ago. Like you said, I wish it would have happened. And of course, as you go through the course of time and your career gets to the twilight end, people say, oh my God, you should have it. But guess what? As much as we want people pushed, as much as it should have happened, the only thing matters is that it happened. And for him, it's probably so much sweeter because he's waited so long. And he probably thought it was never going to happen at this point. But the writing was on the wall. I like when he lost the U.S. title without getting pinned, you saw the writing on the wall then. So they still made him unbeatable.
Yep.
Over the course of the last year, when MVP came in, Bobby Lashley has been pretty dominant. And here's what you got to do. You have to give so much credit to MVP. Yeah. Because MVP isn't just people I realize this. MVP isn't just a good talker. He's a great businessman. Even at WrestleCon, you can see how he, even on his display, it wasn't always about the money with him. It was about the interaction with the fans, the one-on-one. And people always remember this. And The Rock says this in one of his interviews. Or it was somebody, whoever it was. But you always remember who gave, I think it was Eddie Murphy. You always remember who gave you a free cheeseburger when he worked at McDonald's. Your whole life you remember it. Like that will hook me up, when you're hungry. So the what I'm trying to say is this. I might not be doing it right, but I'm all over the place. But MVP is such a nice guy. He loves the business, but he also cares about the fans, and he's a businessman. When Kofi Kingston won the title, there's a video of him and Shaq Gaspar together at the sports bar in tears, crying.
Yep.
So MVP is not just a mouthpiece on television. He is a master strategist, a great businessman, and he's the kind of guy you can't walk over because he's legitimate too. And when I say legit, I mean like you, legit, a legit world champion.
Yeah.
We go back to my backstory because I'm legitimate too in boxing back in the day, but that's another story. But this is the thing. When you have a legitimate wrestler or fighter, or whatever the case may be, and they transition over to sports entertainment, what they call, and they keep their ability about them, it's the best thing because they know what it's like to be a badass in the real world. And to transition that over and push somebody else to take the spotlight. MVP knows his career is coming towards an end. He still can work, don't get me wrong, but he didn't want to be U.S. champion. They gave it to him, flipped it around, gave it to Bobby Lashley. Mm-hmm. Has, under his tutelage, groomed Cedric Alexander. Cedric Alexander has turned to a different person. And he's done something with Shelton that should have been done years ago. Made Shelton be high profile like he deserves to be.
Correct.
In no one's shadow. The Hurt Business is currently the best faction in all of wrestling. I'm not going to compare them to DX or the Horsemen because we're in 2021. And they have set the tone for the factions in wrestling. What else can you say? Bobby Lashley, WWE Champion. Let that roll off your tongue.
Totally agree. Now all we need is Bobby versus Brock at WrestleMania. Let's make this happen.
It could happen. It may happen, but I think with only 4 weeks to go to Mania, I think it's going to be Drew. I think we'll see Bobby and Brock at SummerSlam when this be full of fans in August. That's just me personally. Even though it's a WrestleMania match, you want that match with full arena.
That is true. That is true. But what if they're thinking, hey, we got 25,000 in here. We got so many watching around the world. Let's still give them what they want.
It's a possibility, but I think because Drew has carried the company, like you said last week, on his back during COVID, they still want to give him his WrestleMania moment, win or lose, with fans. So if I'm booking this, and since Brock's been on the shelf and has not done anything since last year's Mania, I book. I reward Drew McIntyre for carrying the company on his back. I give him Drew versus Bobby. Have Bobby go over, and I have Brock show up on Raw the next night, and then start the feud up until SummerSlam. That's what I do.
Okay. All right.
I think that's fair. I just think it's fair because Brock is part-time. And if you notice, if you go back to Brock's last 4 matches, they're all losses. If I'm right. I mean, his title defense. He lost to Drew, right?
Lost to Drew. Correct.
Lost to Seth, right?
Lost to Seth, right?
Who in between
and then he beat Seth. He cashed in on Seth. Money in the bank.
But true. Oh, he cashed in. But that's not actual matches. It's a cash in, so it's different. His actual matches. You know, I think the last main event he really won, like big time, was when he beat Roman at 34. Somebody check that for me. I'm not sure. But what I'm saying is, Seth Rollins has shown that Brock is now. Oh, he beat Kofi.
SmackDown. That's right. Did beat Kofi.
Right. I think that's his last win, though. If I'm right. Well, whatever the case is, he's been proving it.
You think about it. That SmackDown debuted in October on Fox, and so he had that belt till WrestleMania.
Right. But my point is, he's been proven to be mortal now, so he can beat.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So you don't waste him. You let him gain some momentum, some fans, do a couple Raws, and then bring him in SummerSlam. But whatever the case is, Bobby Lashley's in the title picture, and he's made event at WrestleMania. So whatever.
That's right. That is right. Now, AEW had an interesting match that they hyped for about 2 months. The match of Shaq and Jade Cargill against Cody Rhodes and Red Velvet. I want to let you start off on your impressions of the match. How did you feel about Shaq being in an actual wrestling match for the first time? How did the women look? All that good stuff. I'll let you go first.
So I'll give you my pros first, and then all of my cons. Shaq is not at fault for anything. He did a great job. He apparently been practicing. He looked good in the ring. I know Shaq was so Diesel. I know they call him Shaq Diesel. I know he was that big. Like he's like a monster. He looks a monster. He's huge. I think he did everything Cody told him to do. His chops were awesome, bro. Better than the big shows. They were legit. And for Cody to take those, thumbs up and kudos to Cody because there was some. His hands are like 2 of my.
Yeah.
Wow. I think he did everything right. I think the actual interaction between him and Cody was great. I think I give Shaq an A on effort and training and everything he did. And the bump he took it the right way. If you notice, Shaq did something that professional wrestlers do after he falls. He tapped Cody on the back.
Yep.
I'm good. So, what else can you say? Great. Great job by Shaq. Great by Cody. And it's not easy for Cody because Cody's a smaller guy. And Cody's got to use his momentum to get over that top rope and get Shaq, get him. They got to do this shit right.
Yeah.
So it was great. That being said, this is why the Performance Center in the WWE is so good for wrestling. The women in AEW, I am sorry, they are the worst wrestlers. They tell terrible stories. It's everything spot fest, and every move is telegraphed. Every move. Shaq's partner, what's her name? I didn't even pay attention. I don't pay attention.
Jade Cargill.
I don't care what her name is. How about that? She poses too much. She doesn't sell. Doesn't even breathe hard. She got good cardio. I give it to her. But no selling. Everything is. Your partner got put through a table. You wait in the ring and get your hand raised and pose. The first thing you do as a face is go down and go check your partner after you win the match. Of course you finish the match. Of course you win the match. You pose. The women in AEW are terrible. I'm sorry. You could disagree with me. MVS, you guys could disagree. I know what I'm watching. I'm watching lockups. I'm watching wrestling moves. I'm watching bumps. I'm watching storytelling. They're bad. They're awful. The worst woman in WWE, whoever, I think Lana would be main event at AEW. Because she's trained properly, at least. These girls look like they're in the backyard. Excuse me, these ladies, these women. I don't want to, we in a shaky time with Me Too. I don't want to be canceled. Don't cancel Tantilizing.
Well, I'm gonna say this. There was a lot of people hating on Shaq, saying he looked horrible. He shouldn't be in the ring. Let me start off, people. Number one, is Shaq a professional wrestler? No. So he's not going to look like a professional wrestler. He's not. But I'm going to say this. Compared to other celebrities that's been in the ring, Shaq looked damn good. Shaq looked damn good. He was selling to the crowd. You saw when he powerbombed Cody, he did, ooh. Hey, Shaq did damn good. I don't care what nobody says. Shaq looked good in that ring. Shaq took that bump through those tables. Okay, and like Tony said, he tapped Cody to let him know he's okay. Played it off on TNT, saying, I was asking Cody if he was okay. But anyway, Shaq looked good. The chop. Most wrestlers, they'll do a follow through. Shaq stuck that chop on his chest, bro, and left it there. I know that had to hurt. I know it did. Shaq did goddamn good. So I disagree with anybody that said Shaq looked horrible. He did good, okay? I mean, we can't expect Shaq to go in the ring and be like Pat McAfee. I mean, that's two totally different people. Floyd Mayweather, any celebrity that been in the ring, okay? Shaq did good. And out of celebrities that been in the ring, I got Shaq up there.
He was better than Rodman.
Oh yeah, definitely better than Rodman. You can say Karl Malone was better than Rodman.
Right, Karl Malone was good. He listened.
Yeah.
People give athletes that come in to wrestle a bad name, but what it does is it brings it to the mainstream and makes it more popular, which is what you want. I have a question for you. Was it anybody in MVS that said Shaq sucked?
Yeah. Yes. A good friend, Troy Dean for sure.
Okay, Troy Dean.
Troy Dean, yeah, former wrestler. Troy Dean, yes.
Troy Dean's a former wrestler?
Yeah.
Troy Dean, if you're watching this, hi, I'm Tantilizing Tony. Also retired wrestler.
You met him. You met him with us on Bourbon Street. I
did, okay. Yeah. Troy, okay, yeah. So, Troy, listen, I'll be 53 in April. You gonna be at Mania? Let me know. And let's see if the 53-year-old guy, we could tussle, little collar elbow, right in the middle. I bet you I'll run circles around you. I haven't been in the ring in 20 years. You can't hate on people that's coming in, that fulfilling their dreams and doing it right. Shaq did everything right. Shaq told a story. Shaq propped up AEW on the basketball show. He had interactions. He's done interviews. Even when he went to WWE for the Battle Royal, he does the right thing. He's not going to be a world-class wrestler to do 7 foot, 300 pounds. And he's a great basketball player. That's like you trying to go to the NBA. You might make a basket. Are you going to look great doing it?
No, indeed not.
I don't have a problem with celebrities being in wrestling if they do the right thing. So, Troy Dean, don't disrespect you.
Nah, I'm going to say this in regards to the women, because we know AEW's women division is not up to par. But I think with Jade and Red Velvet, they got two of the most talented on that roster if they're signed to AEW. Yes, they still need some work, like you said, with Jay. Gotta stop the flexing and do this part. But compared to who they have on their roster, besides
Agreed.
Thunder Rosa, Serena Deeb, and Sheeta, I mean, that's I think it's a start to make things better. I don't think they'll catch NXT or WWE, but still, that's with those two, with them wrestling each other, that was some of the best women wrestling I saw compared to the other women wrestlers on their roster.
You're right about that. They were the best two in aspects of what we've been seeing. But that's like saying if you go to a minor league baseball game, they'll be better than the PB League. You know what I'm saying? So they'll never be at this. They'll never make it to the status of a WWE wrestler, and that's what the top billing is right now, regardless if you like it or not. WWE trains their people the right way.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that. I'm not trying to say they're not good wrestlers. What I'm saying is they're not executing well.
Yes, yeah, definitely. That's what it is. Definitely. Yeah, I agree with that. They're not executing everything properly and well. I do agree with that. And that's
hey, listen, I'm sorry, but I'm going to cut you off. But since we didn't talk about this in our text messages during the week, you have a thing on Apollo Crews? You have do we have an Apollo Crews segment?
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
Because just let me know when, bro.
Oh, I will, bro. We're gonna be there very shortly. Very shortly. So we moving back to Monday Night Raw. And once again, okay, Charlotte cuts a promo and she wants the Raw Women's title. Calls out Asuka. And we don't know how long Asuka's gonna be out with that injury. She lost a tooth, but I think she'll probably be back from Mania. Do we see Charlotte and Asuka again at Mania?
Probably. What else can you do? Who else in the women's division you gonna give Asuka a match to?
So this is what I was thinking. Rhea Ripley hasn't debuted yet, and maybe once she debuted, maybe that would have happened. Number two, we don't know when Becky is still coming back. Number three, I think creative is thinking we need to have a match that can equal Bianca and Sasha. So they say, well, what two names can we come up with? Oh, well, let's do Sasha and not Sasha, Charlotte and Asuka again. So
what else to me? What else can you do?
Correct. Unless you put Becky or Rhea in a triple threat match with them, that's it.
You can't bring Becky back that quick. And I think you have to rebuild Becky, and you rebuild Becky a little weaker than she was when she left, and make her earn the title back.
Well, I hear what you're saying. I wouldn't go that route because Becky didn't lose the belt. Becky relinquished the belt due to being pregnant.
Yeah, but Becky's been going 11 months. True. What kind of ring shape she gonna be in?
We don't know if she's training or not. We don't know. You're right. You're right. I would give her that shot. Would I put the belt on her right then and there? No, because I think Becky can lose and she still won't lose that fame and that star power she has. She'll be fine. But I mean, I don't know who else you could put besides Rhea or Becky with Charlotte and Asuka.
I make Becky wait till SummerSlam too.
Okay.
I make SummerSlam your big one of the year, even though Mania is the big one, of course. But fans wise, the way everything's going with the country, August is gonna be full of it. Listen, all these states done dropped their mask mandates, so people open 100%. Florida, Tennessee, all these other states. So wherever SummerSlam is, I make that the big one.
He makes SummerSlam the big one. Okay. I think we see Charlotte and Asuka again. But I do think this time Asuka gets the victory over Charlotte at WrestleMania. That's how I feel. I don't think Charlotte needs a belt. I mean, she's had tag, NXT, both women's titles. So she was a 12-time champion, women's champion, and tag team champion. So I don't think Charlotte needs a belt right away. You know, she's gonna always be in the championship picture. But I think letting Asuka get this win at WrestleMania is bound to happen.
I agree.
Now, let's get on the topic Tony really wants to talk about. We have the Mr. Apollo Crews with the new persona and a new character and going heel and all this stuff. And I've read on some different wrestling Facebook pages that people are happy about this. They like what they see. They like this. And then there are some people that are like, man, this some messed up stuff. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't know how my brother feels about it, but he's going to start this off. He will start it off. I'll go second, but the floor is yours.
I want everybody to hear me out, and I want you to listen to this, and I want you to process what I'm saying. Race is involved in every aspect of life. No matter what you say, no matter what you think, no matter what you do, the race you are and the races that you're around have to do with your status in life, economically, socially, emotionally, everything. That being said, I have no problem with Apollo Crews going heel and embracing his Nigerian heritage. No problem with that. Zero. No problem with him speaking in the accent. No problem with that. Here's my problem. Before I go to my problem, let me back a little bit. Has Apollo Crews been flying along in mid-card? Yes. Did he come up too early from NXT and they don't use him right? Yes. Is the smiling Apollo Crews getting old? Yes. He's a great wrestler. He's good on the mic. Nice guy, athletic, the whole deal. No problem with the guy going heel. My problem is this. Racially, when you put a man into a ring with a spear in his hand, it brings back a stereotype of Africans having bones through their noses and talking and not being to have a conversation with normal people. It's like, it's a big stereotype. Like, you know, I lived in Rhode Island for 2 years. I was the only black kid in my school. And he used to call me Jungle Bunny. The other name was Spear Chucker. For WWE to put him in a ring with a spear, and people say, well, Drew carries a sword. It's not the same thing. It's not visually the same thing that a black man is in the ring with two other black men as his soldiers, and he has a spear in his hand. It shows that he's archaic. It shows that as a black man that, you know, he doesn't have the class of just coming into the ring with his tribal colors on in his scarf, all fine, and just speaking in the, what's the purpose of the spear? What is the purpose of the spear? And people say, oh, you're going overboard. No, I'm not going overboard, because if somebody like me sees this, somebody's child sees this. Not to mention, if you play video games online, you know there's a lot of racism online with a lot of younger white kids that call you the N-word and everything else. This is something else to make fun of. This is a stereotype. It's a stereotype, a guy with a spear. Look at this spear chucker. Why the spear? What does it tell me what it does to help his character get over? Nobody, I want the answer to that. If you can legitimize why Apollo Crews must carry a spear into the ring, please, I'd be great to have a conversation with you. because there's no solid reason this man is carrying a spear. It shows that it says he's a savage. It says like he has to hunt for his food. Like, come on. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's insensitive. And here's what's crazy. Everybody wants to play this cancel culture thing. Like, can't read Dr. Seuss. Now the Wizard of Oz is this, and this is that. Everybody wants to be, what you should be, sympathetic to the LGBTQ community. Transgender, everybody should accept everybody. But why, when it comes to black people, it's okay to do something like that? Let's put them. Come on, you tell me nobody thought about that? That creative said, you know what? And even him, I'm disappointed in Apollo Crews. If it was his idea or not, I don't care if that's some ceremonial thing that's in his family. What racist white people or racist people in general are going to see is, look at this spear chucker motherfucker. So I'm pissed about it. Not pissed at the push. I'm not pissed at the heel turn. I'm not pissed at anything else. Not pissed at the accent, because you can have an accent. It's a character. That spear is it's a symbol of savagery, which says black people are savages, uneducated. Look at this monkey. Just saying. So I feel, can't change my mind.
I feel you on that. Let me ask you this question in regards to the accent, because I'm going back to Kofi when he started off with an accent and didn't have one all of a sudden. And Kobe was being billed from Jamaica, and we know Kobe was born in Ghana, grew up in the New Orleans area for a little bit, and he moved around throughout the states. The accent to me, all of a sudden, and I know you just said it goes with the heel turn and the character now. It goes with that. But I'm sitting here like, is the accent really necessary? Because he can sit there and say, you know, I'm from Nigeria, my Nigerian roots, and go along with that and don't need an accent. So I'm like, why is the accent now necessary?
That also goes to creative too. Now, I don't have a problem with that because I don't know Apollo's backstory. If he has Nigerian heritage, I ain't gonna lie to you. I didn't research on that, and I didn't want to, because once I saw his spear, that's all I cared about.
Yeah.
The accent to me is just like, you know, like you said with Kofi. Kofi's playing a Jamaican guy, so he talked like a Jamaican. That could also be construed as a little racist too, and I think that's where you're going with it. But my thing is this: that's another argument to have. Who is in creative saying it's okay that, you know, let's do this and this, let's give him an accent and a spear? And like you said, now I'm thinking about it, was the accent necessary? You can just be like, yes, my father, he's a Nigerian king, and I've traveled the states, and I don't need an accent because I've been in America, but my bloodline, I'm Nigerian. It's true. They're not having Roman Reigns walk around like the Wild Samoans from back in the day,
right?
Eating coconuts and bananas. If you remember back in the day, Wild Samoans never talked.
Never talked.
Captain Lou Albano talked for them, and they were like this, woo, he, like Kamala. Yeah, always had Kimchi or Harvey Whippleman talking for him. You know?
Yep. My
thing is this: if you're gonna stop promoting The Godfather and saying the whole train because you want to be politically correct, sorry, easy for me to say. How come you're not thinking as in, is this going to offend people? Is it going to offend other Africans? I'm not African, so the Nigerian accent didn't offend me. But as soon as you said something, I had to process that and say, wait a minute, that's a little racist too if you think about it. And that's the problem. Every time, and people are going to be like, oh my God, here he goes. Because I know a lot of my friends, some of my friends are conservatives, and they're not going to agree. But you can't agree because you're not black, so you don't get it. But how come we got to always sing and dance? How come we got to always jump through hoops? You know? You don't see John Cena, let's make him speak like, you know, an aristocrat. Or, you know what I mean? They never change the accents of white people. You never do that. But it's a black guy. Let's make him from Africa. Ha 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 ha! Welcome, my friends. Or let's, do the Jamaican accent. Why we always gotta conform? Why would we want to get a heel turn or a push? Here's a great idea, guys. Okay, you changed Chad Gable to Shorty G. He sounded exactly the same, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly the same.
It don't change you, but the black guy, you gotta change him. You gotta always, let's do this. Let's put him in this clothes. Let's do this. Same thing with Ron Simmons coming over as Farouk. Same thing as when Tony Atlas came back. They made him Saba Simba. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. Saba Simba, exactly.
Saba Simba. That's even Roddy Piper said, he goes, what is this crap? This is Tony Atlas. And then Vince said, no, he's going back to his African roots. He's Saba Simba. This is some good shit. Oh. So why we gotta always be the one to change who we are? Papa Shango. Right? Kamala. Kofi Kingston. Now Apollo Crews. Now he is talking like he is from Wakanda forever. Like this. Come on.
Remember when they had Roddy Piper in the blackface?
In the blackface against Bad News Brown.
Yeah. And then if you watch the Big E episode, and Big E said they all went to Vince's office, him, Key, Kofi, and Woods wanted to be a group, and Vince says, I got it. You guys are going to be black preachers. I said this here, wow. A group based off of black preachers, and they went along with it because Big E's father was a preacher. He could do all that, but still, I was like, that left a bad taste in my mouth also. That right there.
That's because Vince still lives in the freaking 50s. And people saying, a lot of conservatives go, make America great again. No, you want to make America more white is what you want to do. And it's not going to happen. And the people say, oh, my God, you're going off on a tangent on politics. But everything's about color. And I know a lot of people in the group were like, damn, Tony's so opinionated about color. Yeah, because I'm black. And someone called me a nigger 3 days ago. I said the word. I got called a nigger 3 days ago by a white guy in a pickup truck with a MAGA flag and a Confederate flag. And I said to him, I said, bro, really? I said, a Confederate flag? Fuck you, nigga. We're going to string you up. Yeah? String me up then. They shut up when you pull out your piece. String me up. So it is about, and people say, well, you know what? They gave Bobby Lashley the title, and look at the Hurt Business. They're not, so because you throw us a bone with one thing, we're supposed to be like, thank you, Massa. Thank you so much. Thank you. Mm-hmm. It's like, when is the equality going to come? It's like when we fight for it, they're militant. They're angry black men. When we bring something up like this, like, why is he carrying a spear? Oh, you're too sensitive. But if I call someone who's in a group that's gay a FAGGOT, I'm a homophobe. But everybody can listen to the music and say the N-word, and they'll say, well, the black people say it, so why can't we? You ain't black. I'm not happy about this spirit thing. And now that you got me thinking about the accent, I got fired up. And I know some people in NBA are like, oh, God, if you're my friend, you understand my point of view. And if you don't like it, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I don't care what you like. Fact of the matter is this. That's some racist ass shit.
100. 100. Now, we're going to stay on SmackDown for a second. And the feud with Sasha and Bianca is starting to shape up more and more. But man, this guy named Reginald, to me, he is watering down what can be a classic feud, a classic rivalry, a classic match. They don't need this guy to be a part of this. Bianca and Reginald Bianca and Sasha can handle this by themselves. You don't need this guy, Reginald. Yeah, he's good on the mic. I'll give him that. He got some in-ring skills. Yeah, okay, cool. But save him for something later. Yeah, this man was involved with Carmella, Friday, Sasha, Bianca, Nia, and Shayna. All at one time. Okay? So, yeah, we know Bianca and Sasha got the rematch for the tag team belts at Fastlane coming up. They still building this matchup. But you don't need Reginald at all. And I'm hoping, Tony, that he does not play a piece into the match at WrestleMania. That is what's starting to worry me, that he's going to be in this match. I want a Sasha Bianca one-on-one, may the best woman win. And with this dude here, I just don't know. I'm kind of like, I'm hoping and praying we don't get him.
I'm thinking that being that he got fired by Carmella and that Nia Jax thinks he's kind of cute.
Uh-huh.
I think that he'll be in their little faction. Maybe help them hold the tag titles a little longer. You know, they're wrestling in at Fastlane against each other. So I'm pretty sure that he'll do something to screw Sasha and Bianca, and that'll get him out of their hair for good.
Mm-hmm.
And then Bianca and Sasha can get their one-on-one stuff that they're going for. I'm tired of him.
Yeah.
You want to push this guy? Put him in the cruiserweight division. Let him go wrestle over there. 205 Live. I don't know what he's doing. Don't get me wrong. He's entertaining, but put him in some other storyline, not this one. Sasha and Bianca need the spotlight. They deserve it.
Yes. It does not need to be shared with anybody else right now, especially Reginald. And Frank says he feels like Reginald is going to be involved in the Fastlane match. Definitely. If we saw what just happened on SmackDown, he was involved with Bianca versus Shayna. He got slapped by Sasha. Nia told him he's kind of cute. He got fired by Carmella. So, yeah, he's going to be involved in this match at Fastlane some type of way. I just don't want him to be involved in the match between Bianca and Sasha. That is all I'm asking for. Just give me a one-on-one good matchup between the best female wrestler in the game today against the hottest female wrestler in the game today. That is all we want. We've asked for this match. We get this match. Don't screw this up with any type of interference at WrestleMania. That's it.
I can't agree more. We need this to be one-on-one, nobody involved. Clean
Definitely.
victory. Clean
Definitely.
victory.
Like you said it, and I heard Tommy Dreamer say it on Busted Open, that Sasha and Bianca should main event the first night.
Why am I not a co-host on the Busted Open? This is why I stopped calling in, because I got more knowledge than anybody in that damn show other than great Dave LaGreca, who's a good friend of mine. But everybody else, and don't get me wrong, Mark Henry's my dude. But between Tommy Dreamer and Bully Ray on that show, too opinionated, don't let the fans speak. So I stop calling in all the time. You don't cut me off. You don't hang up on a Tantilizing one. You let the Tantilizing one make his point. Because everything he says is tantalizing. And I'm right. Sasha Bianca should main event Saturday night.
Hold up. I didn't know about this. They hung up on you?
Listen, bro. LaGreca asked me a question. This is about a year ago. And LaGreca lets me talk.
Right.
We played back and forth. He lets me do my thing. Bully Ray jumps and he goes, all right, Tantalizing, this is it. Oh, all right, Tony and Bush Robin, this isn't your show. And they cut me off. I called back to talk to the call screener. I said, you tell fucking Mark LaMonaco, if he ever fucking cuts me off again, the next Mania I see him at, I'll slap the taste out of his big ass mouth. You don't hang up on me. I was the number one caller. of 2019, 2018. I made that show. Without me, there wasn't gonna bust it open.
I think it's time for you to call back, man, and be like, yo, check this out. I ain't called for a minute because I was disrespected by you, Bully Ray. Somebody I thought was my friend. You know, we grew up from the same spot, ECW. I didn't appreciate that.
I helped train his fat ass. I helped train that dude in the ring. The whole reason why he can do a senton bomb is because I used to lay on the mat for 2 hours while his fat ass used to fall on me and crack my ribs. Fat bastard. I said
it's time to call back in and let him know.
I'm all piss and vinegar today. I can't wait to get out of retirement.
Yes, indeed. Now, let's get into some news. We got a couple things to talk about before we get into the AEW Revolution pay-per-view. That's tonight. Get our picks on that. But, man, Ahmed Johnson made the news the other day. And, man. Did he have something to say about Mark Henry, D'Lo Brown? And I will quote, while speaking to Unscripted, Ahmed Johnson admitted that he doesn't speak to members of the Nation of Domination anymore. He has talked to Ron Simmons a few times, and he continued to make it clear that he has not communicated with D'Lo Brown or Mark Henry. He also referred to Henry as Magilla Gorilla. Really, bruh? Really, bruh? You went down to all people to call somebody a Marilla Gorilla. Anyway, quote again, not really. Spoke to Farouk a few times. I don't talk to Magilla Gorilla. He's referring to Mark Henry. I definitely don't talk to D'Lo. I don't like people who kiss butt. I can't stand that. I can't stand that. If you can't make it on your own talent, don't be kissing butt and talking about other people behind their backs and trying to knock somebody else. I don't like that. And then D'Lo, when he paralyzed Draws, that was it for me and him because there was word that he didn't take care or didn't call him, didn't go see him. You paralyzed him, but you didn't. I don't know what I would have done if that was me. If I would have paralyzed somebody, I'd be at your service 24 hours if I could. Now, Mark Henry did respond. He said there was one guy. This is an interview a while back, but I will say what he said the other day. There was one guy, Ahmed Johnson, who I never got along with, but he wasn't going to change. And like I said, if I have a problem with you, I get rid of the problem. Also, Mark Henry said, he also said on Bust Open the other day, take a guy like Ahmed Johnson, who has never had a good thing said about him in pro wrestling by anyone. I just wanted to defend D'Lo Brown. He said that in that article. He said that D'Lo Brown was dangerous and that D'Lo Brown ended Darren Drozdov's career and never spoke to him. Me, as in Mark Henry, I speak to Darren all the time. D'Lo speaks to Darren all the time. Guys, just so you know, I'm telling you the truth. Ahmed Johnson is a bad human being. Your credibility is shot. Nobody in wrestling will say anything good about this guy. Since when did being professional, being on time, working hard, and being able to coexist with your coworkers become a kiss ass? When? And are you guys out there that's doing podcasts so thirsty and want somebody on your show so bad that you're taking Ahmed freaking Johnson? Guys, come on. Do your homework. I've never heard anybody say anything good about him. Not one. Not one time. So before you start trying to tear down D'Lo Brown, future Hall of Famer, before you tear down a guy that actually was a world champion, who don't you look in the mirror? Your credibility is shot. Your slip is showing. That was from Mark Henry responding to Ahmed Johnson's. And I'm with Mark Henry because I've never heard anybody say anything good about Ahmed Johnson. And when I said Ahmed Johnson, the first thing you did was shoot up the finger. And you've been in the business. And I go back to the Dark Side of the Ring episode when they did the boxing stuff. I can't remember the name of it. Where they wanted Dr. Death, Steve Williams, to win it. And Bart Gunn was the one that actually won it. And they interviewed Droz. And Droz said it right then and there. Me and D-Lo are cool. We speak all the time. So where is Mark Henry getting his info from? What's his beef with Mark and D-Lo? But also, why isn't he liked by anyone that's in the business? Maybe you got some insight, but in this instance, Ahmed Johnson is wrong.
Not only is Ahmed Johnson is wrong, Ahmed Johnson is an asshole. First of all, you're thinking about the Brawl for It All. Is the boxing thing they had Brawl for It All? That's what it was called.
Yeah.
So, I met every member of the Nation of Domination. That goes from Rocky down to Farouk. And with Ahmed in the middle. I met every last one of them. This is Rocky before he was The Rock. He was still Rocky Maivia. Humble, professional, talk to you, shake your hand, keep it moving. D'Lo Brown, nicest guy. Met at WrestleCon a lot of times. Sits there, tells you stories, talk to you like he knows you his whole life.
Mm-hmm.
The Godfather, nicest guy, Charles. Nicest guy you want to meet ever. Ever. Ron Simmons, humble, respectful, loves the fans. Never said a bad thing to anybody in any autograph sign I've ever seen him in. Ahmed Johnson, the biggest asshole other than Hulk Hogan I've ever seen in wrestling. Thinks the business owes him something, doesn't interact with the fans properly. Let's talk about this, Ahmed Johnson. Knowing you'll never see this, but Ahmed Johnson, number one, is a terrible wrestler. Terrible wrestler. Only reason why he got over is because Vince was on that big guy thing, a big muscle-bound freak thing. Couldn't move in the ring. Hurt people all the time. Couldn't talk on the mic to save his life. I didn't mention Mark Henry because Mark Henry and me have had conversations. Me and Mark Henry have talked outside of the wrestling ring, at Busted Open, at every event, at the hotels. Mark Henry sees me, he knows my name. That's Tony. That's Tony Levin, the Tantilizing one, the bus driver. Mark Henry ain't gonna blow smoke up your ass. If Mark Henry don't like you, something's wrong with the other person. Because Mark Henry likes everybody. There's so many stories about Ahmed Johnson over the course of years, how unprofessional he was, and how he thinks people owe him something. Bro, you couldn't even stay healthy and get your world title push because you couldn't get out your own way. They put him in a program with The Undertaker, he blew it. Undertaker get anybody over. You can't get over The Undertaker? You're trash. So, I don't even want to waste any more time on Ahmed Johnson. And Mark Henry's right. If I did have a successful podcast, he's the last guy I put on. I might bring him on and say, yo, this is why I brought you on and tell you what a piece of shit you are and get the hell off. So, fuck Ahmed Johnson. There we go. I'm done.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I never heard nothing good about Ahmed Johnson. I've never heard somebody say anything good about Ahmed Johnson. Not one person.
Not to mention when he moved over to WCW, he came into WCW out of shape.
You saw how big he was? Oh man.
He made me look skinny.
I sat there and said, how somebody that big and swole, muscular, just like that.
Because he's a bum. He's a bum, I tell you.
Oh, man. Frank says that he's heard more bad stuff about Ahmed Johnson than Ryback. Wow.
Two assholes. They should make a tag team called the Ebony Ivory Assholes.
Yes, indeed. I remember that push he was supposed to get. He was supposed to wrestle the winner of Shawn Michaels and Vader for the belt.
Towards ACL because he ran. There was a brawl between the Disciples of Apocalypse and the Nation of Domination, and he ran to the corner and tore his ACL, running from one side of the ring to the other. Because you know why? Because he didn't take care of himself. All he cared about was, that's the problem with muscle-bound freaks. Always want to work the upper body, but not stretch those ligaments and stretch those legs and work those legs.
I find it strange that he says he talks to Ron Simmons from time to time. But I remember he injured Ron Simmons. And when Ron came back, Ron had it on his mind to get him back, which Ron did. Ron did. And you said it also that he always injured somebody in the ring. How is that possible? I mean, we saw Seth injure people a couple times, but how is that possible at the size he is that he doesn't know his strength or doesn't care about safety for the person he's working with?
He hurt Yokozuna in a match. He hurt Yokozuna.
Wow.
How do you hurt Yokozuna?
Wow.
He's a bum. And as for D'Lo Brown and Draws, I know for a fact D'Lo doesn't go a day and feel bad about the injury.
I guarantee he doesn't.
He keeps in touch with Draws. We've seen that on TV shows. We've seen that in podcasts. Draws even said him and D'Lo are still good friends. Yep. He doesn't blame D'Lo. You know when you step in that 20 by 20 squared circle that anything could go wrong on any given day. You could be paralyzed. You could lose a limb. You could lose your arm. You could lose your life in the ring. All these things have happened.
Yep.
So when you sign up to become a professional wrestler, you know that you can have the greatest match in the world or have a botchmania match and break your collarbone or lose your life. You know what you're doing when you get into it.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. Well, I know one day. I'd like to have Mark Henry on our show one day.
If we see him at Mania, I'll ask him.
Cool. Definitely do it. Definitely. Now, other news. So there was this wrestling company called Synergy Pro Wrestling. And the owner, Patrick Shea, was ousted. Let me read you this story, guys, because you might scratch your head on this. Synergy Pro Wrestling is no more, okay? After its owner's history of sexual assault was uncovered. The promotion was owned by Patrick Shea, who went under the name of Colin West. Previously, Shea had been convicted of sexually assaulting 3 male acquaintances between the age of 6, 10, and 14. No, excuse me, 6 and 10 on February 4th, 1999. And then also was convicted of sexually assaulting a 12-year-old boy. This was brought up by indie wrestler named Terry Calloway. This person, she found out about it and she tweeted, "I claim to be a leader in this community. I need to be a leader, even when it's with a broken heart and angry soul. I am ashamed to have ever allowed Colin West, a.k.a. Patrick Shea, the owner of Synergy Pro Wrestling, into my life and my locker room. Pro wrestling deserves better." Shea also said, "I'm sorry I was not strong enough to break the cycle of abuse. It happened to me as a teenager, and I should have been better. I was not. This is not an excuse. My actions were disgusting, and you have every right to be disgusted by them. I have taken great strides to become a better man. Nothing I can do will change what was done. I can never fully repay that debt, but I can spend the rest of my life trying, and I will. Please do not take this out on the Synergy roster. They did not know. It is clear by public opinion I am not welcome, and I will be leaving wrestling immediately. I will make no effort to return or be involved. So, Tony, this is some serious stuff, man. And I'm like, how was this hidden when he started this company? How? Yeah, he went under the name Colin West. So maybe that's what it was. Colin West didn't put his real name in there. The info never came up. But somewhere down the line, when you filing for a business license and all that stuff, you got to put your real name, and they got to run a background check. How is this hidden? And number two, props to Terry Calloway for finding out and doing the right thing. Doing the right thing, because this freak, this sorry excuse of a man, should have never had a wrestling business. And I'm sure he's around other wrestlers who would bring their kids around and this and that. He shouldn't be around children, period. This was sick. I applaud her. She's a hero to me. I'm sure to you. But man, just go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
So here's what the law states, and I looked this up because I was director of a group home working with kids. And they do, when you work in a group place with kids, they do a background check. First they check is if you're a sex offender.
Correct.
But in the wrestling business, everybody that works for wrestling in the organization is over 18 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no need for a background check for sexual offenders. So if you started a business, got a business license, they wouldn't run a background check like that.
Okay.
Even if the fans, of course, are going to be under 18, he's not under the care of anybody under 18 years of age. Legally, he cannot hire anybody under 18 years of age. So they wouldn't do a background check. That's why they didn't catch him. Now, that being said, whoever outed him, thank God for her.
Yeah.
I don't know how they found out, but apparently they must have run some other kind of check. And this guy is a sick bastard.
Very.
And this is what blows my mind about these pedophiles, these sexual assaulters, these scumbags of the earth. He wants to put out a statement that sounds so magnanimous, like, oh, and I'm going to step away from wrestling. Please don't hold Synergy accountable for my actions. They're great people. Motherfucker, nobody will say, hear you talking and your fucking explanation. You're a dirty piece of wormwood and filth. You're scum of the earth. You touched a child. You shouldn't be in jail. You should be under the jail. And please tell me why he's not locked up somewhere. Why is that? That's what I want to know.
Well, he registered as a sex offender. So eventually he was in jail for a short period of time.
We got to find out for sure. I'm going to research this because this is what's wrong with the criminal justice system nowadays. So apparently he touched a 6-year-old, a 10-year-old, and a 12-year-old. Was that what I read? Was that right?
That's correct. The 12-year-old was the one he was convicted of.
Right, but he also touched a 6 and a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
And this was in 1999, correct?
That is correct.
So you tell me how 22 years later this guy's still walking around. What kind of sentences are these where you got people in jail, black people in jail for an ounce of weed for 15 years?
Mm-hmm.
System's fucked up. I don't understand why there's any argument about child molesters. Like, not only should you not be allowed to work anywhere, you shouldn't be allowed to even get on social services. You should be ostracized from the world. You should be extricated. You should be thrown into the street with your ID taken from you. No identification, no social security card. You can get nothing. You shouldn't be allowed to get food stamps. How is this allowed that you could hurt a kid? And this might touch close to home, but everybody someone in their family that's been either molested or knows someone that's been molested. Everybody. If you say you don't, impossible. Everyone knows somebody that has been molested or has a family member or a friend. How is this shit allowed to slide? Now, should the business that he started with all the people suffer? I don't know what his take is in the company. I don't know if he's still in charge of the company, what kind of money he makes. But some kind of court order should be put in place where all powers should be transferred to the next person, and he can't make any money from it, and they keep that business going and just erase him from the existence like they did Chris Benoit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a damn shame when you you started a little wrestling business, you're keeping people employed and people are working, and you're getting to fulfill your dream because now everybody can make it to WWE. You got your to you, that is your WWE. That is your WrestleMania.
That's
and
right.
Now that gets taken away from other people because of one person's sickness. This guy should not just be, thrown out of the wrestling business. He should be thrown out of society.
Mm-hmm.
Disgusting.
Totally agree.
Disgusting.
It's disgusting and sickening. And like I said, my hat goes off to Miss Terry Calloway for what she did. Most definitely.
Kudos to her.
Definitely. Now, tonight, I don't know if you're watching.
I'm going to watch. I'm going to get the pay-per-view. I'm going to, for once, in the first time in the AEW history, I'm going to order this freaking thing.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm gonna watch it too. We have AEW Revolution tonight, and we're gonna go ahead and give our picks. All right. On the buy-in show, you have Thunder Rosa and Riho taking on Dr. Britt Baker and Reba. Who you got?
I'm going with Thunder Rosa, of course.
Okay. I'm gonna look at it like this. They got Thunder Rosa with them from NWA. Just brought back the former and the first AEW Women's Champion, Riho. Just brought her back. At the same time, they really want Britt Baker to be the face of their women's roster. They really do. And Britt Baker's been in a few matches here and there, fine. But now she's going up against the former AEW Women's Champion and the former NWA Women's Champion. No, I got Britt Baker and Reba in this matchup. I got Britt Baker.
I don't think it's not a bad pick. You can only pick one of two, but it could happen. I'm not so invested, but I just know more about Thunder Rosa.
Right.
So
Miro and Kip Sabian against Orange Cassidy and Chuck Taylor. I'll go first. I think Miro and Kip Sabian gets the win. I think they do. What you think?
I'm over Orange Cassidy. They got to get Miro out of this mid-card bullshit.
Yeah.
He's being wasted yet again. I don't know what they're waiting on. Maybe they're waiting on Lana to come over. Her contract's up this year. Or did she resign?
I don't know yet.
I think I don't know, but I don't know what they're doing with Miro. But I think Miro keeps saving win as well. But I'm very I'm worried about Miro's status right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting to think he might have made a mistake. We'll see.
We'll see. Future will tell. Big money match. Matt Hardy versus Hangman Page. I've had this talk on this show. I said I think Adam Page should be a main event star in this company. They've kind of dropped the ball with that. But what better wrestler to get a win against than Matt Hardy, who's done it all and has nothing left to prove in his 40s, and Hangman Page is still late 20s. So I'm going with Hangman Page in this one.
I'm going Page as well, and I got to give Matt Hardy credit for trying to reinvent himself yet again because his delete gimmick wasn't getting over there for some reason. I don't know why, but I think because that's lack of fans.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with you.
Not to mention Matt Hardy if you notice, Matt Hardy has a bad knee. His right knee is terrible.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell he hides it. He does a good job behind it, but you tell he favors it when he climbs in and out of the ring. It's bad. So I don't see Page. They're gonna push Adam Page a little more.
Yeah.
He has grown on me. I think since you mentioned him, I start watching him a little more thoroughly.
Yeah.
Definitely a good wrestler. Definitely got all the tools. But I think this is an easy pick that Adam wins this one easily.
Cool. Street fight. Brian Cage and Ricky Starks against Sting and the TNT champion, Darby Allin. You can go first.
I just wish that this was a more high-profile tag team match. Everybody's big on Darby Allin. I am not big on Darby Allin. I don't think Darby Allin sucks. Don't get me wrong. It's just that his size, he's very little. Very little compared to Cage, Sting. I think Sting's going to shock a lot of people tonight. And a street fight sort of hides what he can and cannot do.
Mm-hmm.
I think, Sting might shock you, do a couple good moves. There's no way Sting's losing his first match. I mean, give me a break. But I do see him and Darby Allin maybe having some kind of flack afterward, which I wouldn't mind seeing. I wouldn't mind maybe Darby going full heel and hitting Sting with the skateboard, and Sting getting the TNT title. You can't give Sting the world title; just can't do it.
No.
But you could get the TNT title. He's back on TNT after all these years. That might bring a little more prestige to the belt.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see. But I like Brian Cage. I like him. I like him a lot. And I like I like both of them. I think I watched them on the dark thing on Saturday night.
Yeah.
They're pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that the problem with AEW, they oversaturate everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everything's over. Too many people in the ring at the same time. Too many groups. Too many pandemonium all the time.
Yep. I got Sting and Darby Allin winning. No way Sting's first match since he lost to Seth Rollins years ago. No, there's no way Sting loses this match. There's no way. And
if you think about it, if you go back, Sting hasn't won a match since TNA, right?
Since TNA, that is correct.
Think about that.
Yeah, long
That's
overdue.
At least six. Wait. At least 6 years ago, right? 7 years, right?
Oh no, man, we gotta go longer than that. I think maybe 8, 9.
Wait, when was WrestleMania 31?
That's 6 years ago.
So he left before that. So maybe 7 years he hasn't won a match.
Maybe so.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. Face of the Revolution ladder match. So you got Penta, Lance Archer, you got Cody, Scorpio Sky. You got somebody in there I don't know. I'm not gonna lie to you. And then there's a surprise entrance. I'm picking a winner first. I think Scorpio Sky gets this done.
Oh my God, me too.
Yeah, I think Scorpio Sky, man. I mean, what's the reason for Scorpio Sky going single and not staying with SCU? It got to be Scorpio Sky. Has to be.
He needs a push, and he deserves it. He's got all the tools, man.
Exactly. I don't know who the sixth man in that ladder match can be, but I guess we'll find out. Casino Tag Team Royale. Yeah, it's a whole lot. But I'm gonna go with um my boys from what you call it, from the inner circle. Santana and Ortiz, proud and powerful.
Good. Guess what? I don't know who's in that match, nor do I care. So I'm going with Santana and Ortiz as well.
It's too many tag teams in it, man. Too many.
Yeah, man. Too many people in the ring, man.
Yeah, Jesus. All right. AEW World Tag Team Championship match. The Young Bucks against Chris Jericho and MJF. Um, Young Bucks get the victory. Sammy Guevara comes out of nowhere, interferes in the match.
Agreed 100%.
It's easy.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What if this whole Sammy Guevara thing is a swerve and he helps them win? Think that's possible?
No way. No way. Ain't no way. How much he despises MJF and everything that's happened, there's no way. That can't happen. And then again, this is the wrestling business. It can happen. Women's championship matchup. Hikaru Shida versus Ryo Mizunami. Mizunami won the women's tournament to become the #1 contender, but I think Shida hangs on to the belt.
I like Shida. She's gonna win.
Boom. And in the main event, AEW World Championship exploding barbed wire death match. The AEW World Champion Kenny Omega takes on Jon Moxley. I'll go first. Kenny Omega is not losing his belt. It's not happening. I know this is a Jon Moxley type of match from where he started from when he wrestled in the CZW, I believe.
CXW, right? Yeah.
CXW, yeah, something like that.
Oh, CZW.
I was right.
Whatever.
CZW, okay. Right. But nah, ain't no way. I don't see Jon Moxley getting his belt back. Kenny Omega stays champion.
Not to mention he's still the IWGP United States champion. So whatever. Do we see the mysterious person that they've teased?
I was getting to that. I was getting to that next. Like, who do you think is the mysterious person? Who do you think it could be?
You know, there's a lot of people going around. It's tough because there's a lot of names out there. Well, who can they bring in that's going to really create a buzz? I know Mark Henry wants to wrestle again, but he's got a good relationship with WWE, and he's on a Legends contract.
Mm-hmm.
That's legit. That's guaranteed money. So would he be willing to risk that? No, I don't think it's Mark Henry. People think it's CM Punk. I don't think it's CM Punk. I think if CM Punk ever came back, he'd come back to WWE to prove a point, get the title, and leave again. So it ain't CM Punk. People say, oh, you got to bring a younger guy in. Who could it be? It ain't Brock Lesnar. He ain't coming there. I hate to say this because I love this guy, and I don't know how it's going to go over, but we don't need another old guy, another 50-plus-year-old guy. But I think it's Kurt Angle. Just because I don't think Kurt Angle's happy with the way his career ended in WWE, losing to Corbin at WrestleMania. I think it's Kurt. I hope it's not Kurt, but I think it's Kurt.
Tony thinks it's Kurt. So, we know Tony Khan can dish out money. We know he can. He has a whole bunch of it. I go back to what Paul White said. A Hall of Fame worthy wrestler. So I'm thinking those that are in the Hall of Fame not going to be in this. So I can scratch out Batista. I can scratch out Kurt. I don't think Brock is going to go to AEW. I don't think so. And if Brock was to go there, I'll be totally shocked. Totally shocked. And then there goes my hope of Bobby versus Brock at WrestleMania out the window. CM Punk, you say no. I got a question mark. What if the money from Tony Khan is so much that he couldn't say no? What if that's the case? But I don't think it's CM Punk. I thought about Christian. And I said, former TNA world champion, former world heavyweight champion, just came back at the Royal Rumble. I said, yeah, it could be. But then I thought, no, they got to give us Edge and Christian again. So scratch that out. So I'm like, well, who else could this be? I was like, well, I haven't seen AJ Styles on TV. But AJ not leaving. He not going nowhere. And then it hit me. What about Rob Van Dam? I thought about it for a second. AEW is a more edgier crowd. Rob Van Dam from ECW? Maybe. And then I sat back and said, I just don't know. I don't know. Try to put pieces to the puzzle. I don't know. And it's crazy because even the dirt sheets and all that can't get their hands on who it could be. But if I'm going to take a guess, I'm going to guess CM Punk. That'll be my guess. If I'm wrong, oh well. But I will go with CM Punk on this one. You say Kurt, I say CM Punk.
If it's CM Punk, I'll be disappointed that he went there and then come back to WWE eventually.
Right.
Just because he got better marquee matchups in WWE. I mean, it could happen. I really can't. It's hard to pick this one, but maybe I'm hoping it's Kurt. I mean, I hope it's Kurt more that he can get a good paycheck.
Yeah.
Because he gave a lot to the business and he lost a lot because of his drug addiction and whatever. And that happens when you're in wrestling. And I don't really have a lot of sympathy for people who get addicted to drugs. But when it's pain medication because you're in pain, I get it. But we'll see tonight, man. I can't say I'm like crazily excited because the card to me is lukewarm at best.
Mm-hmm.
But I really want to see who the guy is that shows up.
Me too.
And I would like to see the Scorpion. I want to see Scorpion Sky win. That's the match I'm looking forward to.
Definitely.
Any match Cody's involved in, I'm happy with. People give Cody a lot of credit, but he does a lot for the business.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't put himself over all the time either.
Right.
So,
what if the special surprise signee is a female?
Who could it be?
So I thought of Zelina Vega, but I don't think it's gonna be Zelina Vega, but I don't think it'll be that, excitement with it. I thought of AJ Lee. I was like, well, I could put some excitement. But then I thought about a conversation we had on this show about this particular lady. If she was to come back, because Edge came back, Daniel Bryan came back. I said, what if Paige is that person?
I would hate that too.
I would too.
Because I like Paige. And if Paige comes back, I want to come back to WWE and get her title.
Yes.
I don't want to see her. I mean, could it be Aleister Black?
He's still in the contract.
I don't know, man. This is a tough one. This is a tough one to call, which is good. That's tough.
Yeah. Very good. Speaking of Zelina, where the hell is Aleister? Oh yeah, Vince got him on the shelf, bro. Not putting him on TV.
Disgusting.
Yeah, Aleister Black on the shelf, not being used on TV. My man Andrade on the shelf, not being used on TV. Humberto Carrillo not being used on TV. Um, what's my boy name, man, with the roses and everything, man? That was with Andrade for a second. Angel Garza,
Oh yeah.
talented people. Once again, not being used on TV. He's not injured. No, he's not injured anymore. No, he's just not being used. They never look when he came to the main roster. They never had nothing for him. They did not have anything for Aleister Black once he moved up to the main roster, which was sad. Who remembers NXT in Orlando?
Oh,
We never even heard of this dude. We never even heard of this dude. Like, man, who is this dude? Man, that dude was the talk of the show.
Oh.
And now we don't even see the dude on TV. It's crazy.
They drop a lot of guys.
A lot. And he's one of them. My brother, we got NXT Wednesday night. We got 2 title matches. Do you think Toni Storm defeats Io Shirai?
Finally, it's Tony time. Yes. Toni Storm wins the title Wednesday night. You heard it here first.
I'm sticking with Io Shirai.
Yeah.
If Io Shirai loses, you think she's being called up?
Oh, hell yes.
All right. And then we have Adam Cole versus Finn Balor. I think we both can agree Finn Balor's going to win this title match. I think we both can agree we're going to see Kyle O'Reilly interfere.
I also can agree that we might see Adam Cole at WrestleMania.
I wouldn't mind seeing Adam Cole at WrestleMania being moved up. Hey, picture this. Hold on. You just said something that, and it just like a light went off. Picture this. You just said we might see Adam Cole at WrestleMania. AJ Styles does not have a WrestleMania opponent.
Could happen.
Oh, it can happen. I'm hearing talk about AJ versus Triple H. I don't want to see that, man. I don't want to see AJ versus Triple H. But AJ versus Adam Cole, give it to me. Give it to me right now.
I agree.
So, that'll be perfect. AJ's in the ring doing a promo, and Adam Cole music hits. Oh, man. That'd be great. Yeah. That'd be great. And AJ got to put Adam Cole over. He got to. Yeah. Oh, yes, indeed. Well, everybody, that's it for the show. We'll be back next weekend. Watch AEW Revolution. Let us know what you think how the show was. If it was a good show, a horrible show, whatever. Your thoughts, your opinions, let us know. But for my brother on the other side, Tantilizing, 2011, you got any last words?
Drop the spear, Apollo Crews.
Definitely. And I'm your boy, Mr. Steal Your Dibs. Give me a Brock versus Lashley match. Give me that. Other than that, we will see y'all next week. Peace.